Okay.
Yep.
So, as you all know, ugly fruit, in Portuguese, Fruta Feia, is a cooperative uh, whose main goal is to fight food waste. So what we do is we go directly to farmers and buy the part of the production that they cannot sell due to aesthetic reasons, whether the fruit is too small or too large or has small stains due to, let's say, cold, for example, or has a irregular shape. So we talk to them and we buy that part of the production that they were previously throwing away, and we give it an economic value, and we buy it, and then we sell it. We sell it to our members, being this a cooperative. We have currently 420 members, and we sell these fruit and vegetables once a week. We set up baskets. We have two types of baskets. We have a small basket, which has approximately 8 kilos of fruits and 4 kilos of fruits and vegetables. And we have a big basket that has exactly the double and costs the double as well. So that's mainly how it works. I'd like to show you a small presentation to let you in on some details of the project and how it started up, if that's okay. So I'm going to screen share that presentation. So this whole project started when we became aware of a major worldwide problem, which is food waste. Nearly one-third of the food that is produced worldwide is thrown away every year. In Portugal, this comes up to 30% of the fruit and vegetables that are being thrown away because of their appearance, of the way they look. So this co-op has a main goal to fight it. So we go to the distributors, and you have there two types of fruit and vegetables. On the left side are the ones that are regularly sold to the regular market, and we take the other ones that are shown on the right side, which are like whose shape is a little irregular or size or color, and we sell it in our cooperative. There you can see a basket. That's an example of a certain basket that we set, and we sell it once a week to our members. One of our main goals is to invert the current market logic that only buys the perfect fruit and vegetables, and so we want to raise awareness to this problem, and we want to let people know that although the fruit and vegetables are ugly, so to speak, they're just equally as good in quality. I mean, they're tasty and they're good quality. I mean, they're not rotten or anything. So to have a co-op like this working, you need three key resources. You need farmers, and according to our principles, they need to be local, and they need to have a certain part of their production being thrown away. We're not buying what they're already selling. We're buying what they used to throw away. So, and then you have to have the cooperators, which means you have to have consumers that do not judge food by its looks, and you have to have, of course, people working with Fruta Feia. And then you need a place. Usually, we work with the places that are granted to us. Once a week, we have, usually on Mondays and Tuesdays, we have a place that's granted to us to where we sell these baskets. So all of these three elements form the cooperative. I think it would be interesting to let you guys know how this project started. So I'm gonna let you in on the pilot project. Um, Initially, we started up with 10 farmers, all from the west region of Lisbon. As I was telling you, the products need to be sold because although this is mainly a social project, it's also an environmental project. So we want to reduce any ecological footprint that we might have. So we only buy local. Also, we started up with 150 potential consumers, and this number fastly raised up to 210 consumers, which was a big surprise and incredibly good feedback that we weren't quite expecting. So we have been growing a lot. And we started with a room rented at Casa Independente, which is in the center of Lisbon. So you can see here the three necessary elements to get this project started. And then you can get to the replication of it. So when we got to a stable model of the first delivery point, we could start thinking about growing and replicate this model in not only another neighborhood, but also we're thinking about expanding nationwide. So we did, and the goal is to so we have a little marketing notions, of course, and we are accepting subscriptions from people mainly online, which is a lot easier for us. So you can join whether you're a farmer, a member, or if you want to be a facilitator. A facilitator is the person who is in charge of working at certain delivery points. So a facilitator has the job to go to the farmers, to buy the products, to manage our members, to talk to them, and to sell our fruits and vegetables every week. These are a few marketing elements that we have. We have t-shirts and bags and our baskets that we set every week. So one thing that is important to know is that can you see the basket? It's a basket made of wood where we put the fruit and vegetables. But when people become members, we offer them one of those bags. So our baskets always stay with us. That's an environmental cost that we're avoiding also. So people take their bags and they put things from the baskets in the bags, and they take their bags home with them, and the baskets stay with us week after week. Also, we have been having a good feedback from the media. And why do we decide to create a co-op and not a shop or a supermarket? Because we felt the need to raise awareness of the people who are consuming, because what determines the color from fruits are primarily consumers. And from consumers' logic, we'll set up a legal logic coming from the European Union that sets the standards of these fruits. So we think that if consumers start consuming reasonably, and if they know that these ugly fruit and vegetables are good quality and just as tasty as the other ones, they can start buying it, and they can start reversing this tendency to only buy the perfect foods. So we think that we could start doing this work with people, and also to create a sense of belonging to the project. So our members are really close to us. They feel really involved in our projects, and whenever we have a problem, it's really good to see that they're really take initiative and have a sense of belonging and want to help us and have been helping us incredibly. So it's not, we don't feel that we're working for people. We feel that we're working with people. But things have not always been easy for us. When we started up this project, we had a few trouble, like obstacles. One of the main obstacles were financial support. That it cost a lot of money to start up this project, and initially we won the second award of a contest that's called Ideias de Origem Portuguesa, which is ideas born in Portugal, so to speak. But we didn't get the first prize. We got the second, so there was a few thousand euros lacking. So that was initially a little troubling to us, and we had to run through other contests and get help from people, and we're still like trying to manage these to get this project going. Also, legal support. We had to deal with a lot of legal matters that really stalled the start of Fruta Feia. It's a pretty bureaucratic process that we had to go through, and that's also an obstacle. Also, we had to find places that people were willing to grant to us, but we managed to get two, and we're currently working 2 days a week, and that's good. But the most interesting obstacle that we came across with were farmers, and initially, farmers were really suspicious of us, and this is really interesting to understand why, because they've been told for 30 years that these fruit and vegetables were not fit for the market. They were, like, so to speak, they were trash, and that they could not sell it, and they were throwing it away because of that. So when a couple go talk to them and tell them that food has a price and that they want to buy it, they're really suspicious, and they weren't always cooperative with us. So that's something that we had to overcome. But as we started this and things started working out, um, and we started coming out on television, they were like they were really easy to work with from that moment on, and they've been really helpful, and they've been talking to each other and getting us more and more producers, and that's really something incredible to see. So as soon as we overcame these difficulties and these obstacles, we had a pretty good um, results. And this is the interesting part, that we've been working for 30 weeks, which is approximately 6 months. We already had 2 delivery points, and they're still both in Lisbon, but we have good perspectives to go nationwide. We have already 32 farmers involved working with us, so getting us different products every week. We are counting with 420 associated members, which is far beyond what we were initially expecting. And above all, we have over 33 tons of food waste avoided. And that's, I think that's really good so far. And we hope to keep this project going and avoid even more and more tons of food every week. So I'd like also to share with you our slogan, which is "Beautiful people eat ugly fruits," and this is the main presentation I have for you. Can you all see me now?
No, we can still see your. Yeah, we can now see you. Thank you so much, Maria, for your
Yep, I think so.
presentation.
That's great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, This is just a small presentation to get you some notions of the project. I'm totally open to questions now.
I I have I have a few questions.
Okay.
I have a question then. I was wondering, what is the general notions or ideas in Portugal regarding food waste? Is there a big culture beside this of not wasting food, of reusing, or is it generally a big problem also with like things thrown out in supermarkets and such?
Well, surprisingly, Johan, it's still a big problem. You'd think that with all the information regarding food waste, people would be more aware, but it's still a big
Mm,
problem. Mainly in the primarily um, segment of the food chain. You can still see that restaurants and producers are throwing away a lot of food.
mm,
Surprisingly, our project was very well received as a pioneering project in Portugal, and this is a surprise it's a surprise to see that it hasn't been done before. You have a few projects that are fighting food waste, but they're acting mainly on the catering side of the consumer side of the question. I mean, we have
well,
3 or 4 projects that are picking up food from restaurants and giving it to social projects. Can you see what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
we
definitely.
didn't have a project that was going directly to farmers and avoiding this food from being thrown away. So when a project like this came up, we had people from all over the country telling us that this made perfect sense and that they wanted something like this in their city because there was nothing like it. And we
Mm.
still have 1/3 of the production being thrown away. So unfortunately, it's still a big problem waiting for a solution like this.
Do you have any idea at a European scale how much food a year is being thrown out because of the EU norms?
Um, Approximately 1/3 in the production side.
Yes, but I guess like in terms of like tonnage. So
That's
so
crazy.
how many tons of food is that?
That I cannot give you the exact value, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I will definitely look up that stat because 1/3 is already crazy. Because that's even before it gets to consumer, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
then consumer probably throws out, half of what they buy too.
Yeah.
Um, and are there other companies like yours in other countries in the EU?
Yes, there are a few. In England, we heard of a project that's also going to, but it's we don't know of any project that's working exactly like we do, like going directly to farmers and selling directly to consumers. We have a few projects that are working against food waste, but we know mainly they're working with restaurants, also connected to social projects. But we have people from France and Italy also telling us that there is nothing like this in their country, and that also comes as a surprise to us because projects are working mainly with restaurants and people, but not with farmers. So it's a research that's going to be interesting to do.
And how big are you planning to grow in the next year or so?
Well, we hope to be in the main cities of Portugal next year. We want to run another delivery points in another neighborhoods of Lisbon, and we also have Porto waiting, and Braga, and Viseu, and Algarve. So it's really about there being people willing to work with us, which there are, and growing logistically because we have farmers from all over the country telling us that they want to sell us their ugly fruit. So perspectives are good. Well, the thing is that we had a big problem recently. I don't know if you know, but our only van, it just burned out spontaneously. So that came to us as a huge problem and kept us from growing more from the time being. So we're thinking about expanding probably in January. So yeah, we're looking forward to that, and we hope to get to each city of Portugal soon.
Do you guys have any questions? Because I feel bad because I feel like I have 1,000. I could go on, but but if you have more, for it. Alisa, Corolla, do you guys have any questions?
I looked up your question actually.
Okay.
So Hannah's question about how many tons of food is wasted. So per person, it's about 105 kilograms per year in Western Europe and North America. So according to my mathematics, it's about 41 million tons.
Yes, it's crazy. Hello?
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you think that then this model can you see it theoretically just going, could it be used everywhere where there are, agricultural in any country which produces like which grows food on a large scale? Do you think it's possible that it can be rolled out in other countries?
Yeah, sure. I think it's perfectly replicable, the model of this project. The thing is that we hope to get to a point where a co-op like this isn't needed anymore because people are aware that this food is good, and so there can be like a way to reverse the legal standards that are making farmers throw this food away. So we hope to get to a point where there isn't any food waste on the primarily source of production, you know? But yes, I think that if you have, you have farmers all over the world, and you have consumers all over the world also. So if you can get people, like 2 or 3 people, to start up something like this, I think it's perfectly doable any place of the world. But I think it works better in cities more than villages, because in villages what happens is that people mainly are already consuming what they're like every production, where I either the perfect food and also the ugly. People in the countryside tend to eat what they produce, so you don't have such an amount of food waste. It happens more importantly on cities, because they're depending on big distributors. You know what I mean? So a project like this works better in the city rather than the countryside.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. That's it's so interesting for me, I think. Sorry, Hannah,
yeah.
did you?
I have an evil capitalist question for you. So you mentioned that like your structure is more of a cooperative, but do you not see an immense business opportunity in this? Because this is there any reason why supermarket can't sell this food at a discount already? Why can guys like Lidl or I don't know, like supermarket chains start selling this food if it's properly labeled? And is it if what you care about is just saving food from wastage, like did you consider working directly with those huge supermarkets to see whether you can change their choices in purchasing?
Yeah. Well, we do not aim, we do not look at this as a business, although it does move money and it's a company, a sort of company. But the money we're making, it's only enough to support our costs and to give us enough logistic capacity to grow and have more delivery points. You know, supermarkets. You know, theoretically, farmers cannot sell at all these food to supermarkets. From supermarkets won't take it, but they are doing something. They are some supermarkets here in Portugal are buying it at an incredibly unfair price and using it to produce juices. I don't know if you heard of it, but some supermarkets are doing it. But the thing is that what the consumer doesn't know, it's that it's a really unfair um, business, so to speak, because what supermarkets are standing for, they're saying that they're supporting local farmers, but when we speak to the farmers, they say it's one hell of a business because they're feeling exploited because they're not, they're not being what supermarkets pay for these fruits cannot even start paying for their working hours, let alone the foods. So it's really a controversy here.
And from a legal perspective, when you say that they can't sell it, like I just don't understand how does the EU legislation work. So how is it that they don't meet the quality standard? Does it mean that a supermarket can't take it or can't label it as a quality product? What is the
Yeah,
problem?
the supermarket can only sell what goes through the calibrator. Do you understand? They have like major calibrators for fruits, and what does not go through the calibrator cannot be sold in a supermarket as certified food, and that's the problem.
But I guess the question is, can it be sold as uncertified food?
They're not doing it.
But could the question is not if they're doing it, but could they?
Yes, they could. They could, but they're not doing it because being sold as uncertified, people won't buy it. And that's why we think that's important to raise awareness to the people. Because if people start buying these fruits, they will start buying it from the producers. And that some supermarkets are doing it already. In France, we have Intermarché that's now starting to sell ugly fruits. And that's a big step. And that's going to help changing people's minds. And that's what we're aiming at. So that's good.
And so this is a question, I guess, on behalf of the group, because everyone's always kind of looking for ideas of how, how they can get involved in their communities, and what is it that this group or any group of young people could do to help change this mentality. Because, for example, I noticed that your Facebook page is only in Portuguese, um, and so it's not really easily accessible to
That,
English.
that's something you have to work on. Translating our websites and stuff. So I can give you like be proactive about this subject about food waste, which be like a wise consumer, buy wisely and consume wisely. Like consume local. If you consume local, you're already helping farmers. Like you know those small markets that you have, like they're selling ugly fruits. So if you start buying from them, you're starting to help the problem. Also, when you're buying in supermarkets, try looking for fruit that does not have such a perfect shape or color or size, to reverse this tendency because people have the tendency to leave out what's not perfect and what's not big, you know. And if consumers start leaving that one out and taking the other one that doesn't look so good, but which is equally good and tasty, all supermarkets will also reverse this logic. So yeah, that also be if you want to start a project like this, I think it's perfectly doable. If you talk to local farmers and if you talk to people in your neighborhood, I guess you'll find that everyone's willing to, everyone will share like the awareness of this topic, and they will help you. So if you take initiative, I think you'll be contributing a lot to this, to solving this problem. So yeah.
I'm sorry, but since I'm not exactly from the, well, not at all, I'm not from the region. We don't have anything about ugly is not allowed. I mean, basically in Russia, all fruit is not very beautiful. What are other reasons? I mean, we do buy all food, and yet we hear about a lot of food being wasted. What are other reasons for this, and how can we attack them?
You're saying that in Russia, food is being thrown away by farmers?
No, but I mean, for various reasons, food goes wasted. I mean,
Or
people don't. I mean, a lot of reasons that. I mean, I keep hearing numbers. I mean, not as 30%, maybe a bit less, but we don't have this laws about ugly food can be sold or this stuff. Yet we waste food. Why?
yeah, probably you have two different problems there. You have food that's being thrown away by companies, whether they're restaurants or supermarkets, and you have food being thrown away by people. Um, Food that's being thrown away by supermarkets and companies and stuff, it's a big problem. It has several reasons. Whether it's the labeling rules that are too tight or the packaging types that are too small and crash the food, and that causes a lot of food waste, and it's terrible. And then you have people throwing away in their own homes. And I think that we should educate people to buy reasonably, because people often buy a lot more than they need, and they they could like cook more wisely, as to reuse the food that they've cooked instead of throwing it away, and be aware of the labeling and that would also help. I think it goes a lot through education and being responsible about your consumption patterns. I think each one of us can make a small difference that is big in the end of the day.
I just had a question about you mentioned the pilot that you did at the
What?
start.
I didn't hear you.
The pilot you did.
Yeah.
How important do you think that was in sort of shaping your future practice, and how much has your model now changed to from what you did in the pilot?
Okay. We were initially counting with about 150 people to join us as members, and currently we have 420, and we have about 1,200 people on waiting lists. So that was a good surprise, but we don't see it as something good because we really want to give response to all of those people, but we still don't have the logistic capacities to for that. We have only one van, and we don't have any storage. So the products we sell each day, we buy them on that very same day. So the products that we're selling on Mondays, we're buying them on Mondays, and on Tuesdays it's the same thing. Also, we still have to check for other places that people can grant to us another neighborhood to Lisbon, so that we can, invite more people to join us. And the main problem now is finding a way to pay for people working with us, because when this project started, people who were running it, they were working voluntarily, and now for each delivery point we can pay for one person, but all the rest of the work is done by volunteers. And when it's not like it's not exactly it won't work if you want to open another co-op in another city and you're not trained. So that's one of the main reasons, the main problems that we're trying to solve right now is the business model. It's counting a lot on volunteers, and we would like, to be something more stable.
Okay, great, thanks. Carola, did
Yeah.
you want to?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you two questions. The first one is about your customers, and I'd like to know about them if they want to save money, and so because they can't afford buying food in the supermarkets, or they want to sustain local farmers. And the second one is about bureaucracy. I'd like to know how long did it take you to establish Fruta Feia, and if you had any problems, like hygienic problems.
Okay. Well, as for our customers, they're very different amongst them. There are like really young people, like students like you, your age, and there are old couples, and they're very different between themselves, and that's something really good to see. What there's two things that are common amongst them. One, they're also really aware of this major food-based problem in terms of social and environmental problems, and so they really don't see like us, they don't see why this food is wasted being so good, and they want to fight that, and also they want to help farmers because it gives them a sense of proximity to the countryside, and a lot of them are really aware of that. They want to buy local and on a fair price, and they joined us because of that, because they're buying it at a fair price, at a price that's both fair to the consumer and the farmer. So they feel like they're really, adding value to society, and that's something really good to see. Also because they're buying cheaper and locally. Um, as for the bureaucratic problems you were talking,
Yeah. How long did it take you to establish Fruta Feia?
oh, about 4 months. We were running after we won the prize. We had to hire a lawyer, and we had to have a lot of how do you call it, licenses to sell this, and we had to buy a van that also costs us a lot of time, and yeah, so about 4 to 5 months. And also we had to invest a lot of money, so only within 2 3 months could we start making money enough to help us grow.
I have a question for you, and it may serve you as advice, I suppose. But you seem to have like a clear fan base or people who really care about, buying locally and buying your product. And then also it's probably people who want to come back regularly. In order to grow your business faster and have the money as investment, do you consider payments So just asking people to subscribe for a year, and in that way you their money up front, which would allow you to make all the investments that you need to make, like for example buying a new van, so that you can expand quicker.
Oh yeah, well, we're certainly counting on people to help us. You know, we feel like we're a big group, and people also feel that. So when we had this problem with this van, we started up a donation um, idea, a donation project, and we raised up to 2,000 euros in about 3 weeks. So people are really in- like really eager to join us, and that's good feedback. Also, we're running for a lot of contests, so we can use the money of the prizes to help us grow. So far that's what we're doing. We're counting on people and running for projects to get financial support, and that's the only support we've been having. Also, of course, some money from the sales, but that's like a minimum amount compared to these prices that we're applying for. So it really it's going to take some time to grow, but we're optimistic about getting there because it's really a non-profit cooperative, so it's really difficult to grow as fast as we want it.
Cool. So does anyone else have a question? I saw that Alisa just joined back. Zaur.
Would you be interested in starting something like this in your country, in your city, perhaps?
I think it sounds amazing. I don't know if I'll have time, but I'll definitely look into it when I go back to London for uni next year.
Okay, that's good to know.
Did you say that there was already a group in England, or?
There used to be, actually. I've just been told that it doesn't exist anymore.
Ah, okay, okay.
I'm
Today is the opportunity.
I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted, but it makes me think so much about. I mean, organization seems completely different, but it reminds me a lot of an amazing business idea, which a lot of people were super excited about, which was organic food. And sending food baskets to people that I remember was happening in the US at the time that I was there. And actually, after a while, you started finding out that it was just a bunch of really kind of really money-oriented people who just wanted to fool like the best instincts in the local communities and kind of send them really like bad quality potatoes and beetroots. Um, so, but the thing is that I think that there is enormous opportunity to grow this business. So, I mean, which is why, again, I'm tempted as sort of really market-oriented, startup-oriented person, that this is a sphere that's just excellent to really grow this to a size of any supermarket, because I think that there is demand for it. But then the question really becomes, how do you both get funding, so get the early startup funding that you need, with getting investors on board that would require you to do things that you, as the person who wants to run this business, do not want to do, like sell people really bad products at a very high price, and making them even more disenchanted with the world in the end, once the policy of the company changed. Like, how do you protect this great spirit and this great idea? And that's kind of like why I'm a bit worried, like, because I don't, I like I like the idea of making a living and not being stressed about not having money to fix events, and at the same time doing something that's actually really good, growing really fast. And that's an idea that I kind of struggle with here, because this is definitely a capital intensive business. So not like tech that you can come up with an idea, it costs you nothing to start it and you feel like you're doing something good. This is a real business where you need to have a real van, hire real people to move real boxes. So
Yeah, I think it's what you do. It's not easy to start up something like this, and you have to be serious. You have to know what you're counting on. You have to know exactly what you need and how much it's going to cost you, and who do you go to for funding. And that's probably the hardest part. Um, as for quality, both farmers and consumers are really happy with us because we're we're demanding of this quality. You know, we count on people to tell us what they like and what they don't like. And sometimes we get fruit that is not so good, but we only have it there once. And then we talk to the farmers and we say, okay, maybe this is not as fit for us, or it's been too much time in the cold, so they're not like selling us rotten foods or anything. So because they already know what this project is about, and people are really happy and satisfied with our products. And yeah, it's about finding a serious team that's willing to work together to get this going. And initially, as for the money, it's difficult. The person who started this, Isabel Spad, she was working on this project for 6 months without a salary, and also with the help of a few friends. But then she created a model that was stable enough to get her a salary, and that's the starting point for her.
and that actually leads to another question. Who are you guys? Like, what are your backgrounds? Did you think about becoming a farmer or, a distributor of food when you were in high school? And how did you get to this place?
Um, I don't think well, there's three of us. There's Isabel Swatch, who started this project. She's an environmental engineer. Then there's Anna, who's a teacher but also working with us. And then there's me. I'm a sociologist, but I'm also working with them. Um, I don't think any of us ever thought about becoming a farmer or study for that matter, studied agriculture. We studied more like other environmental subjects. Um, but the three of us are largely, um, you know, have a deep interest for social and environmental causes, and that's what led us to create this project. So we have like a deep connection to the countryside, and we want to see these food and these farmers given a value, a proper value, and being recognized. And we also want to be part of the resolution of a major social and environmental problem, and that's what connects us.
Cool. Thank you so much again for taking the time out of your, I'm sure, busy week to come up with the presentation and share it with us. Would you be able to also send us the presentation so that we can share it on our website, on our Facebook group? Because I think that it is a message that should be shared widely. And maybe we can also come up with just like some quick infographics or something that we can all share to kind of point people in the right direction of what to do to avoid food waste.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining this hangout, and thanks for inviting me, and it's my pleasure to share this experience and this project worldwide, and we hope to get to each country soon.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, unless you guys have any last moment questions, I think we can just end here, and I will see you tomorrow. Yep.
Okay. Bye bye.
Great. Thank
Bye-bye.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.